I'm going with Ben Askren in the Jake Paul boxing fight. I know people are going to call me crazy, and I'm fully aware that Ben Askren's striking did not look good when he fought in MMA, but I like the changes that he made in this camp with getting to work with Freddie Roach leading into the matchup. Freddie Roach, one of the best boxing coaches of all time. That's invaluable advice for Ben Askren leading into the matchup. Plus, I think a lot of people are putting too much stock into Jake Paul's wins. He beat an NBA player. He beat a YouTube guy. Ben Askren has fought legit fighters, including Robbie Lawler, including Douglas Lima. Yes, he uses wrestling for those fights, but that's still, he's been in there with those guys. And I trust a guy who has, combat sports experience and also an Olympian. I mean, Ben Askren has a lot of credentials in terms of his mixed martial arts career. I will take him in this fight to win a decision. And he's not going to knock Jake Paul out, but I think he weathers the early storm. If he can take a Robbie Lawler punch, I think he can take a Jake Paul punch as well, survive, and end up winning a decision this one. So I'm going to be going with Ben Askren by decision in the boxing fight.
Jake Paul and Askren. Wow. I don't know. I think something like, do you know what? I'm going with the upset. I'm going with Ben Askren to win this and to make this turn this fight into a dogfight, for lack of a better term. Jake hasn't been in there with the caliber of athlete like that Ben Askren is. Let's not forget, like he fought. I know he fought an athlete in Nate Robinson, but a combat sports athlete, and I can't remember the other guy he fought was another fellow YouTuber. I forget his name. I'm not down with the kid, so I don't know who is. But I think that Ben Askren is early doors. He's going to close the distance. He's going to look to clinch. He's going to look to lean on him. He's going to look to tire him out, and he's going to look to take Jake into the later rounds. And do you know what? I wouldn't even be surprised if Ben gets a late TKO. So I'm going to go Ben Askren by late TKO.
I'll be honest, I was kind of doubting Ben Askren when this fight was first announced, but he very quickly started making me see just how wrong I was for doubting him. First of all, I think Ben's got the right game plan. Drag Jake Paul into deep waters. Jake Paul's 2 boxing matches have gone approximately 3 minutes in length. Ben Askren, an Olympian, a Division I wrestler, a champion-level mixed martial artist who's had long fights, and his average clock's in around 11 minutes, so I'm not confident whatsoever that Jake Paul's stamina will hold up for 8 3-minute rounds once he's fighting a guy who's not going to go down easily. We've seen Ben Askren take hard shots from Robbie Lawler and persevere, so I'm not expecting an easy knockout for Jake either. Finally, the press conference just said it all to me. Ben, cool as a cucumber, so comfortable in that position. Jake Paul was like the bratty teen who was chirping, but you could see that Askren was just like Teflon. Nothing got to him, and he really picked his spots to get back at Jake, and you could tell by the end Jake was starting to get flustered. I think Ben Askren's got the psychology edge going into this. He's got the endurance and stamina edge. He's not going to have the kind of adrenaline dump that I expect Jake Paul to have, and I see this maybe not even going to a decision, but a late TKO due to exhaustion in Ben Askren's favor.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight, man. We've never seen Ben Askren in boxing before, so this is really interesting. How's he going to look? Everything we've seen and heard in like the videos online, it looks like he's not that great at striking, right? But here's the thing. He's a legitimate combat sports fighter. He's a legitimate martial artist. Jake Paul has 2 boxing matches against, one is a YouTuber and the other one is a former NBA star. So I have a lot of questions about him. The fact he's so much younger, though, so much faster, and we did see the power in the Robinson fight, I think I'd lean towards Jake. But, man, Ben could win this fight.
Jake Paul versus Ben Askren. You're really going to make me make a pick for this one, aren't you? Okay, fine. I'm taking Ben Askren because, first of all Team MMA, that is the team that I'm on, and Ben Askren is actually a professional athlete who has fought at the highest level of multiple sports. One of those being MMA, which does incorporate striking. And yeah, he might not be the best striker out there, but he still has been able to hang in there well enough to not get knocked out clean, aside from a random flying knee from Jorge Masvidal, which Jake Paul will not be able to throw. So, I don't know. It's a weird circus. That is all it is. Jake Paul, sure, he can knock him out, but if I'm going to pick, I have to go with the guy who's an actual athlete and not famous for making vines and YouTube videos, and decided that he wants to do boxing. So I'm going to take the real athlete on this one.
Shaq, I know what everyone thought when this matchup was first booked. I was the same way. I said, you know what? Jake Paul is... I'm just saying Jake Paul's pretty strong. I don't know, maybe the Nate Robinson knockout was fresh in my mind, but no, I have changed my mind. I am championing MMA. I think Askren, he's a friggin' world champion in 2 promotions, in combat sports. He's an actual fighter. Askren will win. I don't know, decision. I don't know if late TKO. I'm going Askren. Forget it. I'm on record.
Fight